Okay, guys.
Okay, riders, ramp start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Hazırda uçuşu belediye, Kuvamangen, Jolis Bobol ve Rusya temsilcisi Kamarol ve bir şeklinde iyi bir örneğe başlayan ve yakında çalışıyorlar. Belediye yarın finalda birinci grubun mecelerde esasen finalda eski kazandığı maçların siyasına dalmış olur. Hollanda temsilcisi Kuvamangen, Fransa numarası Jolis Bobol, Rusya temsilcisi İlgili Kamarol ve İsveç'in olan Berlin Grand finala destek kazanırlar bu grupta.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the riders to the start lap for the second men's semi-final. In Gate 8, representing Italy, Ricardo.
Okay, guys.
Okay, riders, ramp start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
Kişilerin yansıtı olarak koşuyoruz buraya yarın finalda yerleştirecek. Üçüncü grupamız orada esnaflarımızda.
Yeah, once again, he threw himself off that first turn, took the lead, and he'll be tough to beat. So it's France 1 and 2 at the moment with Mir and Andre. The Dutchman's coming through right at the end here. The Dutchman could take second. Doesn't really matter because all three go through, as does Glishenko from Russia. So we've got 2 Russians in the final, 2 French, 2 Dutchmen, and some others. Wow, once again, it was a cracking finish. And this time, Amadou Mir held on once again. So he's gone 4-0 in these championships so far.
He looked so good the other day. He won all 3 of his heats, although one of them he only just scraped home by a tiny fraction of a second. But he looked really good in the previous 2, and he was just saving himself for the semis and the final by then. And he looks to be very much on medal form.
Yeah, just look at how he takes off here on that first jump. He's gone. You know, it's tremendous acceleration off that first curve, centrifugal, centripetal force, one of the 2, and just throws himself into that first jump and gets a huge lead. And that must be pretty demoralizing for the others because he's done it every time. So they're just waiting for him to go. And although Van Gorkum had a fantastic first leg off of that 8-meter hill that they dived down off of, it just couldn't cope with it. But they did give it to Van Gorkum right on the line. Very close, though. You can see just, what, 20th 100s or something. So those first 4 go through, France, Netherlands, France, and Russia. Good run again by Glishenko. So he's going to join his mate, Kadashev, in the finals.
Well, France will have a very strong hand there, there's no doubt at all. They could even win all 3 medals, but the Dutch are going to get involved as well. So France and Netherlands have looked really good in the BMXing so far. And there is confirmation of the 8 through to the final.
Well, we're just going to take a little breather here because coming up next, it's the women's gold medal. Just to remind you of those who've been with us and those who haven't, we had 30 men, 15 women to start this competition a couple of days ago. And that was whittled down to 16 men and now 8 women for the finals. And it's a pretty classy final with the likes of Laura Smulders from Holland, or the Netherlands, her compatriot, Mary Bentham, another one to look out for. But I suppose the dark horse must be Magali Poitier from France, who was a first and 2 seconds in their semi-finals. Smulders was slightly better with the first, second and first, but in all, this could be a very competitive final, and it's 1 run, so there's huge pressure here. Unlike the semi-finals when they had 3 goes at it, this time it's just 1 run.
Well, Smulders is one of the 2 stars in the lineup, Christensen of Denmark being the other. Smulders had a bad injury earlier in the year, and she's done well to get back from that. Christensen, though, is confident that she can win here, go home with gold. So it should be a really excellent race between those 2, with perhaps 1 or 2 others like Poitier of France, as you say, contesting bronze at least. And who knows, it's all about how well you get down that hill to the first corner. If you can get a position, it's quite hard for others to get past you after that.
Oh, it's critical because you can dominate from the front. You can take the tight line all the way round, and they've got to work, whoever it is, really hard to get around the outside, and that's virtually impossible. This is very akin to snowboardcross, where they all start off. Of course, it's a little longer, but it's very similar. And normally the first into that first turn just goes on to win, unless someone crashes or whatever. We've seen a few crashes here, but generally these girls are very classy, and you can see them now all warming up. They're having a couple of runs through. We've got a few minutes to go yet, another 15 minutes, I think, before they're due to start. So they have an opportunity just to check out the course again, make sure nothing has changed since the last time they were on it, try to work out how they're going to manipulate some of these jumps. And we've seen on this one that the women will come round looking down at curve 1 there. You'll see there's a right and a left-hand lane, and the women tend to go down the inside there, whereas the men, and certainly the likes of Mia, just blast themselves off that jump and virtually hit the second jump on the way down. We've seen a few of the women hit that second jump on their side. That's nearest to us as we're looking at now. Just see her, she just landed on that first jump. Some of them go as far as the second, and you've got to be careful you don't hit the top just before, because it takes great skill to get out of that. And you can imagine coming down, the bike compresses, you compress, and if you're not careful, you're off.
And of course, depending on which gate you start from, your chances are either improved or significantly disimproved. If you're wide in 8, it really is a job to try and get a position going into that bend. You've got to try to get across in front of everybody else in the first 4 or 5 seconds of the race, which is, I mean, it's a real task to do that. Having said that, if you're right on the inside, which is gate 1, there's the danger if you don't get off to a perfect start, you might find others coming across in front of you, and it's difficult to recover from that. So, you know, 2, 3, 4 do at least give you the options for not the fast of the starts, but still trying to get up into that prime number 1 position going around the bend.
Yeah, just a little bit about the bikes, I suppose. You know, these are not your normal bog standard BMX bikes you'll buy down the local bike shop. They're really specially made, designed for the particular rider, all sizing exactly as they want it. You'll see shockers front and back, amazing designs. And this is not a $100 bike. This is like a few $1,000, pounds, euros, manats, wherever you are in the world. These are not cheap bikes. And this level of the sport, and bear in mind, this is sort of the second tier type sport. This is not basketball, horse racing, or cricket, or whatever. There's not a lot of money going around here. And so the athletes, they depend on sponsors, especially bike sponsors, to get this gear. And it's not just the bike, it's all the padding and that to go with it. Because if you do come off, you can get some serious injuries. We had a couple earlier, but luckily no one was hurt and they all got up and walked away.
But it is, without any doubt, one of the most exciting events of the European Games, and also Olympic Games as well. And the fact that it's all over in about half a minute makes it even more so, because there is no margin for error. There's no chance to recover in this event. You think of something that lasts half an hour or maybe even several hours. There's the opportunity to make a mistake and still get back into it. But here you have to be on your game. Certainly for those first 2 or 3 seconds, they're crucial. But even after that, one lapse of concentration, you could be a second or 2 ahead of everybody else. But one lapse, and you're down and out. So the intensity in the 30 seconds really is what it's all about, and the sheer level not only of speed and power. It's also about concentration for the whole trip from start to finish.
You're right, and I think it's something the Federation has to look at, because, you know, we're just hanging around here for the next event, which is fine. You know, we're having fun down at the BMX Velo Park, but you know, they've got to think of the spectator. They've got to think a little bit more about television, because maybe they need a longer course. Maybe they need 3 runs in the final or whatever. You know, they've got to look at it to fill this space. Otherwise, the people watching will say, and I'm pleased to see that the stand's pretty full. There is a lovely water park just the other side. And for those of you looking out, if you don't know anything about the Caspian Sea, well, it's full of oil, and you'll see tons of oil rigs on the right there. That's where they sort of hold them before they put them out. You can just see one in the distance, sucking up the black gold, as it were. And in fact, a lot of the venues here are actually built on oil fields. In olden days, when they discovered this place, there was oil everywhere. And a lot of the lakes now that you see, or reservoirs around Baku, originally were just open oil fields. And this place many years ago used to produce 50% of the world's oil population. And one thing I saw yesterday, that there are some local artists, they actually paint in crude oil. And there's this, what they call the blue oil here. And you can see some pretty nice paintings in blue, but most of them are in black and shades of black. But it certainly is a little different. But back to the BMX, not long now before this women's gold medal run, the final. 8 of them have got through, and certainly a bit more about those when we get down to it. But certainly France, Netherlands and Denmark should be the threat. This is a replay of the men. This is the first semi-final with Twan van Gent going through. Nice different angle here. And it'll give us an opportunity to look at the height off some of these jumps. And you can see it's all about timing, because if you mess up one of those, you know, there we go, just as he did. Just got the timing off the jump wrong, hit the next one at the wrong place, and he's off the bike. But you can see it was pretty comfortable for the first two, then the next two, and you know, it was over.
Two sets of colours that we've seen so often during the course of the competition there. The Dutch, the orange of the Dutch, and the blue of the French. Now we're going to have blue in the women's final, but not just the French blue, but also the Czech Republic blue. So we're looking out for those. Dutch well represented with two in the race, and now we're going to see this from another angle. This is fantastic, isn't it? It really gives you an idea what it's like to be in the race. Latvia, if this is the same semi-final, he's going to go in a moment.
Yep, this is the crash. There he goes.
There we are. But he got back up on his bike and he completed the course, albeit in over double the time of all the others. And remember, some of those may have just been riding for a place in the final, so the best from them could yet be to come, but it was a quick time compared with the heats earlier in the week.
Yeah, I think the final is going to be a cracker between Mir and Van Gent. Those have dominated, and now both have a perfect result so far. 4-4, 4-0 coming into the final. And obviously an outside chance to Dode and Andre.
I wonder if we've seen the best of Dode yet. I wonder if he's just saving it for the big one.
Well, you know, he came into these championships obviously as the favourite. He's, you know, 4th ranked in the world this year, and I think, to me, he played it very cagey in the time trials we saw a couple of days ago. All he wanted to do was produce the time fast enough to get in the top 16, to get a good seed into those heats. I don't think he wanted to mix it with the best, so I think he was being a little cagey. He did just that, and he wins all three. So, you know, you can't doubt him. He didn't show that well in the what really are the semi-finals, but I think in the final he's certainly got something to show.
Well, Laura Smulders, who was favourite for the women's event, she was saying after the heats in her competition that she hadn't gone for it because she was aiming for a place, first of all, in the important part of the competition after we'd had the time trial, actually going into the racing part of the competition, because she said that those races really do take a lot out of you. It may look like having a lot of fun, but actually it's very strenuous, very hard work. And if you try to do it too many times, you'll eventually hit the wall, maybe literally. We're not far away from
So I think that was Laura Smulders at the top there, just preparing how she's going to start this one. If they do start to order, Poitier, the French rider, will be nearest to us. Smulders will be just outside, and the two dark horses, I suppose, Van Bentham and Christensen. So that is Smulders, just having a practice start.
She should be in gate 2, which is one away from the inside. Poitier in 1, Smulders in 2. Smulders' great rival Christensen of Denmark will be in 4.
In fact, this is Christensen. So that was Christensen having a quick start, and now she's just cut across. That's enough for me. But you can see the weird designs of these bikes. These are not your normal BMX bikes. They're designed for this. They're more akin to the downhill bikes. So this is the Latvian, Alexeyev, with Van Bentham. I think that's the far side. Just having a little practice. That was certainly is Van Bentham.
Yep, Dusher got 2 in the final, Smulders being the other one, and they're going to be coming out of adjacent gates.
This is Van Hoof, the Belgian. Elke Van Hoof, the 23-year-old. Finished first in the 2014 World Championship, so she's obviously got some pedigree. Not shown her best this year yet, and who knows, this could be the race to do it. That's Lovrenkova from the Czech Republic on the far side. This is her. So at least we're showing you something before we get into these races. We should have about another 4 minutes before they start. We should be under starters' orders pretty quickly.
We certainly should. And the Belgian, if she goes like that, when the race actually starts, she's got a chance of getting from 5 to be somewhere in the first 2 or 3 going into that crucial first corner. She actually had the fastest time in the qualifiers, Van Hoof from Belgium, so she's in good form. That's one of the Dutch girls. Smulders will be 110, Van Benthen is 75. These are the numbers that are worn by them all the time. If you're wondering about the strange numbering system, these are their permanent numbers, and they've brought them here to the European Games.
And this is the Czech girl, Aneta Hadlíková, and I think if we had a few bob to spare, this might be an outside chance. She certainly fared well in the time trials and the heats coming into this. Semi-final not quite so good, but she's a bit of a dark horse, I think. If she can have a good start, get into a good position early on, she might cause an upset. But she's going to have to be at her best, if not better, to beat the likes of Poitier, Smulders, Van Benthen and Christensen. I think just to get on the podium here is going to be tough. I think maybe the first and second, you could say, Poitier, Smulders, but I think that third spot, the bronze medal, that's the one. But of course, being such a fast, exciting event, who knows, someone might come off coming down that ramp. We've seen it a couple of times. Just got the timing wrong, hit one of those bumps, one of the rollers.
Smulders won bronze at under 2012. She'll be looking to improve on that here. She's ranked 1 in Europe. Christensen ranked 2 in Europe. Portier's ranked 4 in Europe. So those are the 3 that the others have to match here. Just a chance to have a spin round the track. But ultimately, of course, when they do it next time, they'll have 7 other bikers around them, which is going to make it just that much harder. But what an exciting dash it is to that first corner. And you only have to lose a metre or 2, and suddenly you've found yourself in an almost impossible position, because you've got to get through the bikes in front of you, hopefully not by going too wide. You probably can't get up the inside, so the first couple of seconds is absolutely crucial.
And of course, this is so we've got a 15-minute delay here on the women's final, but this is one of the sort of the youth sports that have come through and made it to the big leagues. We saw it at the Olympic Games, and now we're seeing it at the European Games. And of course, it started off with the X Games in America, but now it's made it to the big leagues at the Olympic level and the European Games level. And I think there are a lot of other youth sports who are now really pushing hard to get into these. You know, the wakeboarders and all kinds of different sports, kite surfing, lots of great, exciting sports that the youth of the world are really taking up to now. The traditional sports, yeah, they're still very popular, but if you go back and look at the percentage of the younger people now who are given the opportunity to have a go at some of these sports, and of course everyone rides a bike, we've all had a BMX in our time, and to take it to this level now is something special. So, you know, this really was a street sport that came through. People would make their own courses around the streets. That's why these straights are called streets. And, you know, we have freestyle. It's a pretty entertaining sport, and I suppose it doesn't get much more exciting than seeing 8 of them riding around a course like this.
Very much a young person sport. Lots of younger residents of Baku here today to enjoy a sport that I'm sure many of them would love to take up themselves. All you need is the right bike and a lot of nerve when you look at that very steep downhill run to that first corner. If you're not an experienced biker and you don't know what you're doing, it must be absolutely terrifying. But that's partly what makes this such a brilliant sport to watch. A relative newcomer to the Olympic Games, be taken on here by the Baku 2015 committee, and it's proved to be a very popular part of the programme.
So, ladies and gentlemen, under 10 minutes to go now until the women's final. And I have some results here from the volleyball competition over at Crystal Hall. Yesterday, all of the women's medals were decided. Serbia picked up bronze, Poland grabbed the silver, and Turkey defeated them in the final to claim gold. Now, today is not only the final day of the competition here at BMX, but it's also the final day of the competition in the volleyball. So, claiming the bronze medal, Russian Federation. The silver went to Bulgaria, and the gold medal winners, the champions of the volleyball here at Baku 2015 were Germany. But that's the volleyball, but it's all about the BMX now. When I was down on the finish line just about a little more than half an hour ago, you will make fantastic noise, and I'm going to be doing the same thing on the finish straight. So what I want to do now is practice the noise that you guys are going to make when we welcome the athletes to the start round. If you're not from any of the countries represented, it's just about time you picked a favourite. So I'm going to announce the name, and you're going to give them a very warm welcome. Does that sound okay? Ah, that's what I like to hear. Okay, representing France in the final is Magali Potier. Representing Netherlands, Laura Smolders. Also representing Netherlands, Merle van Bentum. Representing Denmark, Simone Christensen. Representing Belgium, Elke van Hoof. Czech Republic, Romana Labunkova. Also representing Czech Republic, Aneta Ladikova. And finally in the women's final, representing Latvia, Sandra Alexeyeva. Now, I'm all the way over the other side, and I can hear that noise. These guys will really appreciate it when they're on the start ramp, so stick with us. Make sure you give them a warm welcome on the start line, and when they come onto that final corner, I want an absolute wall of noise. This needs to be a race that these guys remember for the rest of their lives in the sunshine here at Baku. So we are 6 minutes away from the final. Do not go anywhere.
Hanımlar ve canlar, kadınlar arasında yalnız benim atakosu üzere final görüşünün başlanmasına 65 dakika kalır.
Well, just a few minutes away now from the women's gold medal run here in the BMX Velo Park. 8 women vying for 3 medals. And this is a pretty classy field in terms of BMX riders. We've got some great Europeans here, led by Laura Smolders, the world champion. And also we've got Magali Poitier, who finished 7th in the Olympic Games. We've got the 2010 world champion here, Merle van Bentham from the Netherlands. And a few dark horses, Simone Christensen, 21-year-old from Denmark, currently 4th in the World Championships, along with Elke van Hoof from Belgium, another world champion from a year or so ago. Romana Lubkova from the Czech Republic, 11th in the 2012 London Olympics. And Hadlikova right next to her when we get the starting lineup. She was 10th in those Olympic Games. And Alexeyev from Latvia, she was actually 14th. But looking at the records, Portier in the semi-finals finished first, second and second. And Smulders, I suppose the pre-race favourite, finished first, second and first in her semi-finals.
Just 5 minutes away now. The final having been delayed by 15 minutes. And a bit of a breeze blowing across the Velo Park, as we have most days in Baku, but not a particularly strong one today. The second day of the BMX, because strong winds were forecast, was moved forward to become a second session on the first day. So we've had a break in the action, and we're now back with the third day and their confirmation of the cycling BMX women's final to follow shortly. Very exciting lineup, and although it will barely last 30 seconds, it's going to be 30 of the most exciting seconds that the spectators will see at any time during Baku 2015, which sadly, of course, is almost over now. One of the final events taking place here. A really good way to end with one of the most spectacular. Confirmation of the start list. Not here for France, must have a chance. Smulders for the Netherlands would be favourite. Van Bentham also for Netherlands. Christensen, Smulders' great rival. Denmark, Van Hoof 5. Abenkova for the Czech Republic. Hadikova for the Czech Republic as well. And Latvia in lane 8 in that difficult position there on the outside. Desperately looking for a position coming down that first run to the corner, which comes after just a few seconds.
Yeah, we'll see them in a minute. They're 8 meters high from that first turn. By the time they get down there, they'll have dropped just over 30 feet, around about 30 feet into that first curve. And we've seen throughout the BMX competition here that the inside lanes are the ones to be in. So the ones nearest us, when we look up there, in lane 1 or gate order 1, is Magali Potier, and they call it gate orders because you'll see, for those of you who are joining us for the first time, that they actually have a start gate there which they rest their bikes on. They balance their bikes on it before the bike drops, and off they go. They plunder down that first hill into the first turn, and really the first turn, whoever gets there first usually wins the race or comes second. So that's what they're looking to do. And you'll see the women actually will come around a little tighter than the men, and they'll go on the inside, the lesser jump, because they don't quite go as quickly as the men. And if they went off that big jump, they might well have a crash or two. So they've trained on the inside lane to perfection to get over the bumps and humps of this about 350 meter course. Under the Olympic rules or the Federation rules, it's got to be 350 meters, and I think this one is 343, so it's pretty damn close.
And of course, a baseball cap is always a very good thing to wear at a BMX event, as you can see there. Partly because it's a good uniform, but also because here in Baku, it's another very warm day, keeping the sun off the top of your head, because each of the 4 events today lasts barely 30 seconds, but the whole afternoon's entertainment is 2 hours. So you're going to be sat there for a long time waiting for the next thing to come along, so best to cover up, better to be safe than sorry. But a fan is a useful thing as well. It's sunny and it's hot. It's been perfect weather conditions for watching sport during the whole of Baku 2015.
So you see a lot of teams in the stands watching. There's some Dutch, some Latvians behind. Come to cheer on their fellow competitors. Because, of course, a lot of the sportsmen and women who have competed in these games have already finished their competition. So on this last day, they have plenty of time to come and watch, which is really a gold medal day. Every sport that is on today, badminton, volleyball, judo, it's all gold. So here, the women are now going to go for gold.
Well, we were expecting the final to start around about now, but there is a technical problem that needs to be sorted out at the Velo Park involving the power supply on the finish line. So that's what's being attended to at the moment, and why we're not off on time. That is the amended time, because it was actually put back 15 minutes to make sure that it didn't clash with other events that have lasted longer than expected here at Baku 2015 this afternoon. So just a small delay because of a power problem at the finish line.
Just what we needed, hey?
Well, we'll be staying around, and we'll keep you updated on what's happening here. If we hear any positive news, then you'll be the first to hear about it.
Yeah, this is one, certainly for me, during these games, the first time we've had really a technical problem, and it's not really a technical problem, it's a power problem. So obviously one of the generators there on the back end, the far side of the big screen as you can see it, has failed, and I'm certainly on this country, I'm sure they haven't run out of oil. That would be
I have every confidence, having seen just how superb the organisation has been here during the last 2.5, 3 weeks, that this problem will be a very temporary one. So we'll be here, we'll keep an eye on the situation and keep you updated for now with news that the competition has just been delayed, hopefully for just a few minutes. So we say a temporary goodbye from the Velo Park.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here at the BMX Velo Park. The riders ahead of the women's final have just started to make their way up the ramp. Who will make history? We have 17 hard-hitting competitions here at Baku. This is the second day of the BMX Championships, and medals are just around the corner. Please make some noise for the women's finalists! Atmosphere sounds absolutely incredible over there. We're the other side of the arena, over at the start gate. We've got the teams that clearly from the riders going through their final preparations. Just put yourself outside their minds for a second. They're just moments away from winning.
Ready, watch the game.
So we're just about ready to go here. The girls, the ladies, right at the top of the ramp, ready to go. And as we look up the ramp, on the farthest right side should be Alexeia from Latvia, Hilda Kova of the Czech Republic next to her, Labunkova as well, Van Hoof, the Belgian, and then Christensen from Denmark, Van Bentham from Netherlands, Smolders from the Netherlands, and nearest to her on the left-hand side should be Magny Poirier from France, but they've switched over. Poirier, I think, is right in the middle. She's gone into lane 4.
And Smolders alongside her.
Yeah, so that's an interesting move. They haven't been too strict on these gate draws. Maybe they say maybe they're allowing whoever wins to choose their position. And although they get gate order 1, in this case, she's gone to the middle, which is an interesting move because we found that whoever's on the inside tend to get the best start.
But the problem is, if you are in 1, you do have to get a really fast start, because if you lose even a metre or 2, you're going to be stuck behind all the others as they go to that first corner. So
there's the 30-year-old from the Czech Republic, Hilda Kova. Next to her That's Elke van Hoef from Belgium, the 23-year-old, 2014 world champion. This is the Latvian, Alexeyev, should have been on the outside. She finished 12th in the 14th in the Olympic Games. Poitier should have been in lane 1, but she's decided to go over to 4, the 26-year-old from France. This is the Smolders, so they're right together in the middle, which is interesting, the 21-year-old Dutch girl. And then we've got Christensen. This for me is an outsider. She's got a shout of a medal from Denmark. Beside her, the other Czech rider, Labukova. And on the inside, number 5, Meryl van Bentham from the Netherlands. So they've certainly switched them around here. This is going to be an extremely interesting start.
They're lined up for the BMX women's final at Baku 2015. Set to go.
Okay, riders, right up start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
And they're off. The Latvian slowly away, but as they go into the first turn, it's Netherlands on the inside with Van Bentham. She's right up there, but as they come off the turn, Christensen got away to a flyer, and Smolders is a long way back at the moment as they come around the next corner. Out in front, racing away, it's Christensen for Denmark, has really set up a good lead here as they come to the halfway stage. Denmark, Poitier in second place for France, then the Czech Republic.
Well, this is a shocker. Christensen going for broke here. Under great pressure, but I think Christensen looks like she's going to hold on. It's going to be a hard charge to the finish line. Christensen's holding, yes, she's got it! Well, I said she was an outsider. Poitier second, Hadlikova third, and Van Bentham down in 4. Smolders, I think, crashed and burned on that second street. Well, now she's just come through in 5th position. Well, certainly, that was a shocker. And Van Hoef there from Belgium brings up the rear. Well, for me, that was the race of the century for Christensen. She couldn't have got any better. She must thinking, what happened there?
She came here very confident. She said in the build-up to the race that she thought she could win and beat Smolders. It was a disaster for Laura Smolders, who's rated higher than Christensen on UCI rankings. She just didn't get away fast enough. The other Dutch girl, Van Bentham, who was in 1 against the inside, she was away the faster of the two, and Smolders could never really get a position. And after they got around that first corner, it was all over for her. But as for Christensen, she really got away like lightning and never really looked like being caught, although Poitier gave her a really good race in the finish, was closing all the way home, couldn't quite get there.
And you can see the emotion on Simone Christensen here. I think she was nearly in tears there. Now she's composed herself again, and well, gold medal. The first BMX gold medal of the European Games, and that's something she'll be proud of. The country will be proud of her, certainly her family and friends. But for me, that really was a fantastic race. I told you she was an outsider and really came good right in the end. So let's see it again. This is where it all went wrong for the main favourites, I think.
Smolders in the middle. And you see, by the time they've come here, look, she's miles back.
She missed the start.
She's miles back. I mean,
mistimed it totally.
No chance from there, and she knew that the gold medal that she must have had very serious designs on. I mean, she's so far back there that there's no hope at all. It was a really bad race for her.
And you can see she moves up a couple of places because a couple crashed and burned. Here we
That's
go.
The Belgian.
Wow. Yeah, it's the Belgian.
That's Van Hoef.
Van Hoef gone over.
And
then the Latvian
yep.
tries to avoid her. She's out of her seat. Smolders cruises through on the inside and said, oh, okay, I better start working here. I moved up. Not quite as bad as I thought. But this is Christensen. Flies off that big first jump and takes control. And she was never headed. It was a great race by the 21-year-old Dane. She might be wearing number 4, but she's number 1 here.
Of course, the race fell nicely for her, though Poitier was a danger late on. Never quite looked like getting there. But the way the race panned out behind her, really everything fell in her favour. But having said that, she showed that early speed to the first corner, which was so crucial. And she just burned the others off. And it was only Poitier in the last few seconds that looked like potentially making a race of it, but it was a really, really excellent performance. by the date. Simone Christensen rated 9 in the world and 37.074. She said she could win the gold medal, and she's pulled it off. France second, Magali Portier, and the Czech Republic in third place. And a lot of incident going on behind.
Yeah, I think there are a few surprises there. I don't think she was too surprised. You know, she did win one of the heats in the semi-finals. Really the only one to beat Poitier and Smulders. So she knew she could do it if everything was perfect. And really it did fall all her own way. Got that great start. Smulders had a disaster. And we normally see Smulders come into that first turn first, but she's literally smoldered coming off the ramps.
Well, it must be an awful feeling, mustn't it, to gradually build up to a big event like this. She said she'd been taking it relatively easy during the qualifying process because she was saving herself for the races that really mattered. But in the one that really did matter more than any others, it was over for her after about the first 2 seconds.
And really the other shocker was Aneta Helgova from the Czech Republic getting the bronze medal. She hadn't done better than 4th in the semi-finals, but she had a fantastic race here to come through to take the bronze medal. Poitier takes the silver, but you can see it here. Christensen really did go for broke, and although Poitier threatened her on that final street, she just couldn't get there. You'll see she closes right towards the end here, but Christensen, she's got it sorted. She gets pretty close here, but you can see just over a bike length.
Just over a bike length, and there really wasn't any doubt that the gold medal belonged to this representative of Denmark here. By halfway round the course, she'd as good as won it, but she just had to keep going to hold on. And a very worthy winner of the gold medal in the women's BMX at Baku 2015.
puanları ve cevaplar kadınlar arasında BMX yarışlarından sürdüren mükafatlandırmalar arasında derhal sonra kişiler arasında final bir diyebileceksiniz.
Ladies and gentlemen, the women's BMX final medal ceremony coming up real shortly. Don't forget the men's final BMX follows after this medal ceremony.
mieux, tu peux avoir un peu ton bleu. Et voilà,
Just let me know they are ready to come, so they walk here, okay?
For the women's cycling BMX, and we're going to crown the first ever champion here at the European Games for BMX, and that's going to be Simone Christensen. We just saw a glance of her there with the wearing the proud Denmark tracksuit, and Poitier from France will be joining her. Then Hadlikova from the Czech Republic will be in the bronze medal position. See the traditional gifts they're giving, a little carpet with some flowers, with the pomegranate in the middle, which is the national fruit of Azerbaijan, and the Azerbaijan pipes bring us in. Hadlikova. 2 years to Hadlikova and Christensen. I think Christensen thought she'd be on the podium, but I'm not sure about Hadlikova. Poitier on the back there. She had great confidence coming into this, but bit of a shocker, really. I think a few of them will go away and think about their tactics. They moved their start positions, and it didn't help too much.
By the Secretary General of the National Olympic Committee of the Republic of Azerbaijan, Mr. Agajan Abiyev.
So, Mr. Abiyev to present the medals.
The Vice President of the Azerbaijan Cycling Federation, Mr. Sahib Alakbarov.
It must be nice for him. See a new facility and a relatively new sport to Azerbaijan, and I think we're going to see them in the future with this facility.
The winner of the bronze medal, representing Czech Republic, Aneta Hladikova.
There we have it, the bronze medal going to the 30-year-old Czech, Aneta Hadlikova. Beautiful medals made locally here in Baku. Pretty heavy. Could be a little excess baggage going home for her, but I suppose you can throw it in the bike box.
She was one of 2 Czechs in the final, and that's a good addition to her wardrobe.
The winner of the silver medal, representing France, Magali Potier.
Well, this will certainly see her season off to a great start. She's pretty consistent, but here she has shown some great form. First and 2 seconds in the semi-finals, and now the silver medal, especially beating Smulders, who really didn't contend at all. It's a fantastic performance by Magali Potier, the 26-year-old French girl.
She was 7th at London 2012, so she's stepped up on that into the silver medal position.
Kızıl medalın sahibi ve
Well, what a fantastic performance, and I think she'll be replaying this race and this medal ceremony for many years to come. And when she eventually has a family, this will be certainly something to show the kids. So fantastic performance by Simone Christensen, the 20-year-old Dane, 4th in the World Championships last year, so this is really a notch up. And you can see, I don't think she gets it at the moment. I don't think it's quite sunk through.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and show your respect for the national anthem of Denmark.
Well, there we have it. Gold to Simone Christensen from Denmark, silver to Magali Poitier of France, and the bronze medal to Aneta Halikova from the Czech Republic. Don't go away, we've got the men's final coming up, and of course their ceremony right afterwards. So a slightly delay for the finals. We had a little electrical problem earlier. So we're going to just sit back, enjoy the pictures, and if you fancy a holiday, not a bad place to come. You can see the ocean just there. Well, actually, it's the Caspian Sea, but it certainly looks like the south of France, or maybe in Spain, Portugal, or in my case, Florida. But it's very pleasant. Quite a few things to do here. And the local fare is certainly worth testing, and very surprising to me, I do like Azerbaijan wine. The red and the white, very nice.
Well, Baku is a city of many contrasts. There are lots of things to do, a very clean and impressively modern city centre. And the coast as well, as you can see there. It's a beautiful picture. And as far as the velo park here is concerned, although the arena won't stay after the games because the stand you see there is temporary, but the track itself will remain as a legacy of the games and a gift to the people back here for them to have a go at BMX themselves.
Yes, and of course the whole velo park does include the mountain bike trails, which are behind here. For those of you who were with us earlier in the games, the velo park does include those pretty demanding bike trails for the mountain bike. That was a pretty exciting event for both men and women, but really it doesn't get much more exciting than this. So please stay with us. We'll be back in a few minutes for the men's final here at the Cycling BMX Velo Park.
European Games begins in June.
What a great city, Baku. An incredible warm welcome. We're live from the
Baku European Games.
Well, welcome back to the BMX park, and it looks as though we've got another slight delay on the men's final. Really stretching this one out, and if we're not careful, there'll be no one in the stands because people want to get away. We've got the fantastic closing ceremony coming up the evening, and I'm sure a lot of the people want to do both, have a little bite to eat before they get there. That starts at 9 o'clock here at local time, and I've heard it's a bit of a cracker, so if you have the opportunity to watch it, there's someone or some couple who evidently are coming up at the end who are a bit of a surprise. Money has not been a problem here, and I think they brought in a couple of world famous entertainers to entertain the athletes and the crowd at the end of the actual ceremony itself.
We had Lady Gaga, of course, at the opening ceremony, so it's been a very closely guarded secret. I have to say that that was a complete surprise to all of us in Baku when she suddenly turned up, so it's anybody's guess who it might be tonight. What a splendid way of rounding off the whole fortnight of games here in Baku, which has hosted this event so superbly.
Yes, there are some rumours going through. I did hear that Katy Perry was there, perhaps Beyonce with Kanye West. Who knows?
Well, if they all turned up together, that would be some concert.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Just a shame we didn't get a bit more of Lady Gaga at the opening ceremony. You know, did that beautiful rendition of Imagine, John Lennon's Imagine. Certainly the rumour was it cost them a few bob to get her here, so certainly if you work it out per second what she got, I think it was a pretty good payday.
Yeah, but it was an excellent way to start the whole thing, because it showed the direction that everything was going in, because later on we have the athletics and the volleyball and the swimming and things like BMX and the canoe sprint and all the sporting side of things, but it's very much a case of bringing all the nations of Europe together. Everybody likes a good song, don't they? And Lady Gaga provided it for them at the opening ceremony. So I'm afraid we can't let you into any secrets because we know nothing, but it will be a spectacular occasion tonight, so do make sure you tune into the correct channel to watch that. Meanwhile, we await the men's final on the BMX, a really thrilling final for the women, which was won by Simone Christensen of Denmark, and her big rival Laura Smulders of the Netherlands got away to a terrible start, and she was soon trailing behind everybody else, never got into the race. Well, the fancied bikers in the men's BMX final, many of them will be from France. They have 3 representatives, including some of the best in the world. We'll be looking at Joël Daudet from France, rated number 2 in Europe, 4 in the world, and somebody who's done extremely well during the qualifying and the semi-finals, Amidou Mir, a 20-year-old from France. It's very much in the early days at this level for him, but he has really been impressive and must surely have a chance of getting a medal of some description. Could even be gold.
Yeah, I think it was quite interesting, those semi-finals, because a few of them who came in here, 3 of them came in here with a perfect record in the heats from just a couple of days ago. Twain Van Gent, Joris Daudet and Amidou Mir, all of them won all their races. Now 2 of them have won 4, and I think that might hurt a little bit for the outsider. We've got Twain Van Gent, who's gone 4-0, and Amidou Mir, who's gone 4-0. So I think certainly Daudet will be looking to change that around in this gold medal run, coming up pretty quickly.
And the 8 qualifiers from the 2 semi-finals will be the ones who have made it through. We'll confirm the start list for you shortly. But as things stand, it's 3 from France, 2 from the Netherlands, and also Russia, who have 2. And Switzerland represented as well. So that's the lineup. France with 3, Netherlands, Russia 2 apiece, and Switzerland with the 1.
So we're just going to take a short break, and we'll be back with you in just a few minutes for the men's gold medal run here at the BMX Velo Park.
Welcome back to the BMX Velo Park in Baku. The men's final is nearly upon us. It's a quick event, it will last barely 30 seconds. It's been worth waiting for though, very exciting women's final. And this will be the last of the medals. So Netherlands have 2, France have 3, Russia have 2, Switzerland has 1. There'll be 8 of them. And as usual, it'll be a dash to the first corner. Whole race lasting barely 30 seconds, and first one to the winning line gets the gold. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, I think this one's going to go more to plan than the women's final. Certainly we've got 4 guys who could win gold here quite easily, whereas in the women's race, well, it was a sort of a 2-person race, but sadly one of them decided that they didn't want to play and just had a disaster off the ramp, left it open to everyone else, and Simone Christensen came through and took gold, which was a shocker for a lot of people, obviously not for her, but the favourites must have been thinking, wow, that really did go wrong. And hopefully the men won't do the same here.
We'll be looking for France in particular, who've been very strong during the course of the qualifiers and the semis. Dorday of France is one of the best in the world. He's rated 4th on the UCI World Rankings, number 2 in Europe, 24-year-old. Got multiple medals from all the big events, golds, silvers, bronzes, and this would be another one to add to his very extensive collection. Their confirmation of the start list.
Yeah, the favourites, look out for Van Gent. He's going to be nearest the camera if he goes in the right order. Mir is going to be next to him, but this is a good possibility that this could be a 1-2-3 for France. I think really the only one who's going to stop it is Twan Van Gent, who's had a 4-0 record, but there's the man, number 6. That's Mir, Amadou Mir, and he's going to go in the center this time, so they have switched around. But nearest to us, this is Twan Van Gent. Next to him, that's Van Gorkum, so the 2 Dutch riders. There's Mir having fun. Well, he's only 20. He's the 2nd youngest, or 3rd youngest in the field, and he's made it. And the Russians, well, they're looking a little more serious. And the sole Swiss rider is David Graf.
So Mir and Daudet are side by side, 3 and 4.
This is Glushenko, nearest to us, 2:55. Right next to him
is Andre of France. So the 3 French riders are in 3, 4 and 7.
And here comes David Graf, late to the start gate, but he's still got plenty of time. They look pretty relaxed, don't they? Well, it's a young, fun sport, so Graf, well, he's going to be at his best here. I was surprised he got through, but hey, we've seen some surprises here, and who knows, this might be another one. There's Andre. Not really performed at his best yet. He had a couple of good runs. Komarov, the Russian, 26-year-old national champion. He's got to do something special here if he wants to get on the podium. Certainly Daudet here came in here as the favorite and had that perfect performance, but this is the man I think he's got to beat. This is Amadou Mir. If Amadou Mir gets into that first corner, first or second, if I had a bet, I would say he'll be in the lead by the second turn. This is Van Gorkum. Performed well, but not well enough at the moment. But his compatriot, Twan Van Gent, the 23-year-old, finished 5th in the London Olympics. He's certainly one to look out for.
This should be a thrilling race to watch. The men's BMX final at Baku 2015. Ready to go.
Okay, riders, random start. Riders ready, watch the gate.
They're away in a line, heading to the first corner. The Dutch get away just in front from France, and one of the Dutch is gone after the first few metres, going around the first corner, and France dominating the race here along with the Dutch as they come down the middle. So France, then Holland, then another French rider. Switzerland's up there in 4th place though as they go around the turn, followed by Russia. But it's Daudet for France as they go to the final bend.
Very surprising. Daudet's left the best till last. He really did storm through on that 2nd and 3rd street. Now he's coming through, and this is going to be a comfortable win for him. I think is it Van Gent that's coming through? Yep, Van Gent takes 2nd, and Graf did get on the podium. Wow, what a shocker that was to get Graf on the podium. Andre Mir, he had that disaster early on, and he will be very disappointed. For me, my money would have been on him, but certainly Joris Daudet left the best till last and took the European Games gold medal. And here's the other Van Gorkum. Well, that was a bit of a disaster for him. Bit of showboating down there. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a shame for him. It's a long way to come for that to happen, but such is BMX riding. Daudet, we hadn't seen the best of him, but he was the best rider in the race. It's a collection of medals as long as your arm, and here's another one to add to it. Rated the 2nd best in Europe, the 4th best in the world, and he peaked when it mattered, and he just left them standing from the halfway point. Mir, who'd been so impressive earlier in the week, he never really got going, and he was always last of the 3 French.
Yeah, I think it's going to be interesting to see this replay of what actually happened at this first turn, because Mir came blasting through the middle, then something happened on that turn, and he ended up about 4th out of that 2nd turn. So let's see. Mir is 3rd from the left, so they're coming down. He's just about got it from the Dutchman on the inside, and here he goes backwards. He missed it. He missed that first jump, and we never saw him again. So something went to miss there.
And that's exactly what he hadn't been doing for all the other events where he'd been so impressive out in front. And of course, Daudet seized his opportunity, and he's won comfortably. The result was sealed a long, long way from home.
Yeah, there's a bit of showboating going on here, but that, well, they all aren't. They're all having fun, and that's what this sport is all about. But the surprise really was just on the inside there. David Graf from Switzerland came through to take the bronze, but there was no doubting, as you've just rightly said, Daudet stamped his authority on this race right from the go-get, certainly right from that first turn, and no pressure whatsoever. Twan Van Gent, well, we expected him to be up there. He made the podium, took the silver medal, and then David Graf the bronze. So not a shocker, just a surprise really that that man there, Mir, didn't make the podium and Graf did. I had a feeling it might have been a 1-2-3 for France, but not in the end.
No, and you can see how disappointed Mir was after he was just sitting on his bike with his head in his hands, just wondering where it all went wrong. He must have fancied his chances, but he's still very young, just 20 years old, and his turn will come. Actually, there are plenty more medals to be won by him. Here's
yeah, maybe the pressure got to him. You know, that could have been it, because you know, there was a lot of pressure on him because he fared so well in the semis and all the heats, and who knows, you know, young shoulders, young head, and maybe it was just too much of him, because he certainly didn't get the start we've been seeing throughout these games.
Yeah, he'd been just about first into the corner in every event we've seen him in so far. There's Van Gorkum crashing out early on for Holland. They ran his first turn. France have already got 2 in the first 3, but the one who's back in the field is Mir, and he's second last there, never got into it.
Yeah, you just saw he missed time, that second bump. He came in, and instead of hitting the top and accelerating off, he hit just at the back end of it, could not get any acceleration out of it, so he had nothing going into that first turn. And he most probably knew his day was over. So this is it. No, this is the second row. Mir's way back by now.
Well, this is the eventual winner in second place here. The Swiss went well for a long way. Well, actually, he's finished third, of course, got the bronze, but the Russians, as you can see, were just outspeeded by the others almost from the start.
Yeah, I'm not saying they were struggling throughout this championships, but they never really got... one of them had a good one race. That was Glishenko. He won the second run of Heat 2, I think it was. But other than that, they didn't perform at their best, but certainly this guy did. Joris Daudet of France, the new first ever European Games gold medalist for BMX. Wow.
Well, it was really exciting to watch, and I reckon that's one of the best events that we've seen here at Baku 2015. Let's face it, we have seen an awful lot of good ones, but that was exceptional, such an exciting sport to watch. And the gold medal going to France, the Dutch getting second and a silver in the form of Van Gent, the 23 years old, rated number 3 in Europe, with Van Gorkum, who crashed out early, rated just above him. So the Dutch went into the final with high hopes of a medal. They got one, which was a silver. Van Gorkum having been just a quarter finalist at London 2012. He was looking to do much better than that, and I'm afraid it didn't work out for him here either.
Well, we really had to wait for that one, but it was worth waiting for. It was a cracking final, and I think if all the scheduling could get sorted out, this is a great addition to any games. I think we'll see it in all the major games now around the world. I know it costs a lot of money, the infrastructure, to set this up, but once they've got these permanent tracks in place in all the sort of the major venues around the world, and that will slowly happen, this is an event that can take place anywhere, anytime. And I'm sure you're going to go to your back streets now, and these kids will be making these sort of courses to practice on, because really this is a sport that anyone can come through and take.
Well, this is Graf of Switzerland, and that just backs up your point there. He's got himself a bronze medal, and he looks absolutely delighted about it. 25 years old, and national champion of Switzerland in 2013 and 2014, and now he's got a European Games medal to add to his collection, so stepping up from national standard to European standard here this afternoon, and he looks really happy. There will be disappointed bikers coming out of this event. Certainly Laura Smulders in the women's final, it was nowhere near her best. It was all over for her after a couple of seconds, and in that one there, Van Gorkum didn't make it beyond the first few meters, and Mir of France was way below the form that he'd shown earlier in the event.
But I suppose one thing we really haven't talked about is that Mir, he was the world junior champion just a year or so ago. So for him now to come up and step to the plate in these European Games, he's up against the big boys, and you know, he's got a way to go, but I'm sure we're going to see great things from Amadou Mir of France in the future, and I would think one to look out for in the forthcoming Olympic Games in Rio if he makes the French team. And we've seen from here they are really competitive, so just to make the French team for the Olympics is going to be tough.
Yeah, they're very hot, the French, as we've seen. They went into this final, there was a possibility they could even have won a couple medals or even 3 medals, although the Dutch were always going to be strong competition in that respect. Let's have a look at the start again. But Mir, though, is third from the left, number 6. He is a rider, exceptional
This
talent.
is where it goes wrong.
Yeah.
You see, just caught the top of that hill, lost his momentum, and just never got back into it.
There he is, number 6, coming through closest to us there. He couldn't recover his position. He'd been first into the bend in all the other events that we've seen and dominated them, but at the age of 20 he's got so much potential and
So much talent.
Yeah, and what we've seen here this week, this is just a temporary setback for him. He will be back.
A blip.
Yeah, and the winner of the gold medal is exceptional, so there's no disgrace about the fact that he didn't win a medal today. It's just that on his performances so far, it looks as if he may well get one. Daugherty is the standard that everybody else has to aim at, and he proved it this afternoon with Van Gorkum out of the race. But even Van Gent couldn't get anywhere near Daugherty, who was outstanding today.
No, and I think he was a little surprised. You know, Van Gent has shown that he loves to race from the front, but he never got in front. And from behind, well, he's obviously not quite so good. You know, he was 4-0 coming into this one, and I suspect had great expectations. I'm sure he thought he was going to win it, but he didn't. It was Daugherty who was Mr. Cagey, I suppose. He left the best till last. I know he won all of his heats, but he really didn't show us, I don't think, by winning that. I think he had the easier heats. He played it cagely in the time trial, got where he wanted to be, and although he did win those 3 heats, I think coming in here, he certainly was not forgotten, but he wasn't on the minds of the top people watching here. But at the end of the day, he was the favourite and won, so there's no complaints.
Well, I think it was perfect timing by him, a lovely smooth progression. He wasn't anywhere near his capabilities during the qualifiers, but he's just got better and better. And as others have said, you don't want to burn yourself up too soon in this event, because although it may look as if they're just going around for 30 seconds, and it must be fairly straightforward. It is incredibly taxing to do that against the best in Europe. And if you try to do it too often during the course of just a couple of days, you will feel the effects. So you have to save yourself for the final. And that's exactly what Daugherty did today, because notwithstanding the fact that Van Gorkum was out early on, he was in a class of his own. And if ever anybody deserved to win a gold medal at these games, it was him, because he was clearly the best.
Yeah, for me, Van Gorkum would have really had to race out of his socks to get on the podium. I don't think he had any chance of winning it, you know, because there's some classy guys there. I think he would have loved to beat his compatriot, and if he did, he would have had the silver medal, but I think that was not in his sights today. Hopefully he'll go away from this and learn. The trouble is, I suppose, there's not many opportunities for these guys, and although they have a series, both a European Cup and a World Cup series, these major championships are few and far between. And you know, this one's now gone. There's only going to be one winner, and I suppose the right guy won.
And there is the track itself, which will stay after Baku 2015.
You see, it's getting baked up here, though, cracked. It's dirt on top of concrete.
Temperature here has been consistently near 30, and on some days well above that during the whole of Baku 2015. But that track will remain for the people of Baku and for the youngsters to get their own BMX bike and come out and have a go at the sport for themselves. And who knows, one day Azerbaijan may well have a finalist in this wonderful event.
Yeah, it was sad they didn't have anyone in the field, but I think quite rightly so. The Cycling Federation here said, no, we're not up to this. We need to practice. And yeah, most probably Rio's too close, but the next one of these games, wherever it is, I'm sure we'll see someone from Azerbaijan because of this fantastic facility. So we're getting close now to the final medal ceremony here at the BMX park. And
You saw the winner, Dorday, number 33. And if you're wondering why he's got 33, these are the permanent numbers that the riders wear for all competitions. They carry them through from one to the other, so they weren't renumbered just for Baku.
yes, indeed, many of them made their suit number and put it permanently on the back, which was great for us and great for the spectators. So just a few minutes away, and we'll be marching out. 3 medalists for the cycling BMX. Here we go. I must admit, I think these uniforms the ladies and the guys are wearing are really beautiful. I think the First Lady, being a fashion designer, has certainly had an influence on it, and they'll be really proud of the way they've been portrayed to the world watching. Bear in mind, we're going out to 145 countries worldwide, so people are looking on, and certainly Baku has the facilities now to hold another major game, and the rumor is they're going to bid for 2024, but we will see. Ceremony coming up.
Will be presented by the chairman of Baku 2015 Coordination Commission of the European Olympic Committees, Mr. Spiros Kapralos.
Müşahatiyle
Accompanied by the Secretary General of the European Cycling Union, Mr. Enrico de la Casa, and the President of the French National Olympic and Sports Committee, Mr. Denis Masella.
İsveçre'ni temsil eden bürünç medal mükafatçısı.
The winner of the bronze medal, representing Switzerland, David Graf.
You can see he really is delighted. I'm pretty sure if you'd asked him before this competition, are you going to get a medal, and he'd said, well, I'd like to, but I don't think it's on. But today he performed really to the best he could do, and goes away with a bronze medal here from these European Games.
He's ranked 33 in the world, compared with Dorday's 4th, so he's done exceptionally well to get the bronze. No wonder he looks happy.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they get any world ranking points for this. I'm sure they'll get European ranking points, but I don't think there's going to have the world calls. But people will look out now when they see David Graf in the field.
The winner of the silver medal, representing Netherlands, Twan van Geunt.
And this wasn't a surprise. I think he was going to make the top of the podium or second, and in this case it's the silver medal. I suspect he'll go away pretty happy. Disappointed for maybe a minute afterwards, but now it's sunk in. He's got the silver medal of these European Games, and that is something special.
Yep, he's one of the best in Europe, and he's proved it today. But Dorday was much too good.
Kızıl medal sahibi ve Avrupa oyunlarının şampiyonu Fransa temsilcisi.
Gold medalist and the European Games champion, representing France, Joris Daudet.
There we have it, the gold medal winner, Joris Daudet, 24-year-old Frenchman, came here as the top seed, and there are not many people here who came as the top seed and gone away with a gold medal, but he's certainly one of them. I can remember Nicholas Spirik in the triathlon was the #1, and she went away, Olympic gold medalist, now European Games gold medalist. But Daudet, he's the #1 here today. He's the man of the moment.
Yep, it's Dorday today. and a really outstanding performance. He was at his best.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be upstanding and show your respect for the national anthem of France.
Well, there we have it. The gold medalist, Joris Daudet from France, wins it. Van Gelt second, and David Graf from Switzerland was third. Well, we hope you've enjoyed our coverage of these European Games BMX. From all of us here, we wish you well, and hopefully you'll join us again later for the closing ceremony.
Merci. À tout à l'heure.